So welcome to the latest edition of In Conversation. I'm Matthew Wallace and I'm delighted to be joined here this morning by former Aberystwyth Town, Carmarthen Town, Tregaron Turfs and current Penryn Coch left winger, Cledan Davies. Cledan, how are you, mate?
Not bad, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, can't complain. Firstly, how's lockdown treating you?
Yeah, you know what, it's been not too bad actually, because I can work from home. So I've been working from home. Also done a bit of deliveries as well on the side with John Foligno, so got a bit of extra cash there. Bought my first house not long ago as well. And just seeing the little one, every day is a lot better, so no, I can't complain actually. It's worked out not bad for me.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's great to hear that you're keeping positive and keeping well during this unprecedented times. And obviously with the signing for Penryn Coch in the summer, you must be delighted to a certain degree with yesterday's news that possibly friendlies can go ahead and you might actually finally get a second debut for the Roosters now.
Yeah, hopefully now, it's still at 30, hopefully if that outdoor changes to 40, we can play league soon. But yeah, positive news about the friendlies though. So hopefully in the next week or two, we'll have a few friendlies lined up.
Okay, so let's take you right back to the start now. If you look back when you were a youngster, what was your first memories of football and who were your biggest influences growing up with football?
I started playing when I was 4 actually. I was playing in a under-9s team for Tregaron, and I was getting lumps kicked out of me and stuff. Yeah, but back in the day, big Liverpool fan. Robbie Fowler, Steven Gerrard was my idol growing up. He was just the best.
And who's the biggest Liverpool fan, you or Sean James?
Oh God, that's a tough one. No, I think we're mad as each other about Liverpool. If they win, we always text each other. If we always lose, we really disappointed. But it's all good fun.
That's great. Actually, at least you'll have that in the dressing room next year as well. So if the man's in a bad mood, you'll also be in a bad mood for that one anyway. So you'll
definitely 100%. Yeah.
So then, growing up, then you started off Tregaron, and then you developed then as you're growing up. And were you involved in Aber Academy at all then, growing up?
Yeah, I started in Aber Academy. I think it was about 9 or 10. I think Gav was the director of the academy at the time as well. So then Matthew Bishop was there, and then started then from under 10s straight to the under 16s. Then I went back to Tregaron then. But I still playing Aber youth, and then. What happened then? I think I played then for Aber when I was 16. Had a game with Aber in pre-season, but went back to Tregaron then because of the travelling and stuff. Yeah.
What was it like growing up playing men's football and playing those steps up? That you were quite young, playing against players much older than you in those age ranges.
I think it's the best thing that can happen to you. If you're a youngster, I think you've got to play against men. I think that's the best way to learn. When I was 16, I was playing against Barry Rowlands, Footy, and them for Penryn. They would kick lumps at you, but I think it gets you better. You learn more from that than playing against people your own age, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I was chatting to Harry Rowe last week and saying about how they learn more from that loss against Barry than they would playing under 19s football where they're just going to win those 3-4-0s where they were winning quite comfortably. But then they're going to learn playing against those tough games that you're going to take a lot from.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not knocking the 19s and the 6. You
Absolutely
learn
not.
a lot.
Yeah.
But I think if you play against men, you grow up better as well, faster as well. I think it's much better for you.
And then you signed for Arbor for the first time. Who was in that team when you first signed?
Yeah, because I'm going back. Yeah, I played with Aber. I had one game with them in 2006, I think. Then I went back to Tregaron for 3 years, and then Aber kept calling. So I started off in the Aber reserves with Brains, and I was doing well there. I think the first 6 games I scored 7 goals or something, and then Brian Coyne was in charge, and he had Jake King with him as well, and he was good. Yeah, I really liked him. And who was in that team? We had Freddie, Sean James, Geraint Passmore, Barry Morgan, Sherbs, Jeff Kellaway. We had a really good team then, and yeah, so that's how it started back in 2009.
That was the Welsh Cup year. Was it the Welsh Cup final year, or was it the year?
It was the year after.
Year after final, yeah.
I came the season after. So yeah, and it was a really good team. But I think Coyne was only there for 3-4 games. But I never forget, he gave me my debut. So, no, really good times.
And then Brian left and Alan Morgan came in. How was Alan Morgan as a manager to work with?
Yeah, he's fine. I don't think he rated me as much as a player, to be fair. But, can't knock him. He played me a bit, but I left not long after he came. But to be fair to him, I think going back through the managers, he probably had the best trainers. He's a really good trainer, good motivator, yeah.
Fantastic. And as you said there, you left not long after that, and that was your went to Carmarthen Town. How did you find that time at Carmarthen Town?
I think it's the best move that happened to me, to be fair. Because I was in and out of Aber, wasn't really getting a start. I would sometimes play their next game. I wouldn't be even in the squad. I know Tommy from before. Tommy Morgan was Carmarthen manager at the time. I love Tommy, and I think he's the one who believed in me most, to be fair. He signed me twice, and I think it was a no-brainer, to be honest. So when he asked me to go down to Carmarthen, change the scenery, maybe out of my comfort zone a bit. No, but I really enjoyed my time at Carmarthen. Good bunch of boys down there. So really good football club.
Would that be the time that Cledan Davies was coming through there as well?
No, I was there a year before Cledan Davies, so I never played with him, yeah.
So you were the 2010-2011 season at Carmarthen, if I'm right, my maths is right?
I think it was 2011, 2012, actually.
The first season of Super 12?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
So the first game for Carmarthen in front of the Scorio cameras as well, so that must have been a nice little against Arbor.
Yeah. And Arbor 1-3-2 as well, yeah.
So following on from that season, you rejoined Arbor. So was it Tommy who was manager again at that point?
Yeah, Tommy came back in for me. I love playing for Tommy. He was to me. So yeah, and it's close. Aber's my hometown club. Been with Aber since I was 9. So it was really nice to get back playing for Aber that time as well. Yeah.
As you said, it was your hometown club there. When you were growing up, were you following Arbor Town then as a kid as well, or was it just playing for the academy?
Just playing for the academy more than anything, because I was living out in the sticks in Tregaron. So, but I remember used to play, used to watch now and again. Back in the day, you'd get, Gavin Allen, Paddy and them. So they're big idols growing up as well. Yeah.
And then from those seasons, we had a couple of they weren't brilliant seasons as such. We were like strong, solid finishes more than anything. How were those next seasons? A second spell with Arbor?
Yeah, I loved it. Because I started off left mid and then went back to left back. But I was playing every week, so I was happy. I think the 2013-14 season, I felt that was my best season for Aber. When we qualified for Europe, I started every game. I had 3 or 4 goals. Lots of assists, and I felt good back then. But we had good locals back then. You had Jeff Kellaway, Sean James, Barry Morgan, Sherbs, Stuart Jones. So when he went to an away game, he had a bus full of locals. Good youngsters coming through. I think that's what's important to Aber. Like the team at the minute now, it's got full of locals. I think that's the most important part. You'll get extra 10% from the locals.
Absolutely, and you said there was a good core of players there. And as we talked to Paul was talking to Sherbs the other day and saying that he came back from Australia and it turned into practically what felt like Llanelli Town. How good was that team at that time?
Yeah, I think looking back at I think that's the best Aber team personally in the last 10-15 years. You had good players. It could be Sierra. You had Venables on fire, Craig Williams, Mark Jones. Then you got all the local players in there. There was a really good team full of locals. Then when he needed a quality, they were brilliant players. Good boys as well.
Fantastic. And as you said there, you got into Europe. How was that? I know obviously the result didn't go away, but how was that experience of playing in Europe and representing Aberystwyth Town in Derry as in the Europa League?
That's my proudest moment in football, without a doubt. Starting 2 games for Aber in Europe. I think we started off well in Derry, but the red cards cost us. Backs against the wall stuff then. But great experience. Going back through the Welsh Cup final. How we win that. That's one of my biggest disappointments in football. But but to be fair to them, they're full-time team and they won the game in the end. So I think they're just a bit more streetwise in the end. But looking back, it was a really proud moment.
Fantastic. And not long after that, you left on loan for a couple of weeks to go to Carsws. How was that as an experience?
Yeah, and Matthew Bishop came in, and he had his own ideas. I think I wasn't playing, and I needed to play. And Carsous came in. I think Carnarvon came in as well, but went to Carsous. But I got injured 10 minutes in, and I was out for 3-4 months. So I only played 3 or 4 games. But like I said, another great football club, good boys there. But yeah, I only played 3 or 4 games. Then came back to Arbor then.
Was it, and that's the second spell now when it came back to Arbor? No, I think it could have been the first one where you ended up having to play 45 minutes in goal.
Yeah, that came up in my time up today actually, because I think it was against Newtown 6 years ago. Yeah, I think Mike Lewis got injured. Yeah, Mike Lewis got injured. And half time I went in and goal then. I did one good save and got clean sheet as well.
I can remember that. It was an absolute world class save. I think you downplaying that save as well.
Yeah, I'll have to share it again on Facebook.
Absolutely. It was, and I said it's 100% clean sheet record. There's not many Arbor keepers who can say they've got that.
No, exactly. And then with that Penryn 2 or 3 years ago, I had to go. I think I played 4 or 5 games for Penryn 2 years ago and go well.
Have you ever fancied yourself as a keeper, or was it just happy to help out?
I think it's a win. You can't really lose, really, because no one expects much of you, and if you do a good save, you're a hero. So, and if you concede, then so it's a no-brainer, to be honest.
Happy days. And following coming back from Arbor, then you were with us then for not long after that. You were part of that team that's under Bishop and the Wolvesy then. Almost a bit of a disappointing season, but we actually stayed up in the end. That must have been a great feeling on that final day against Rill to stay up. Yeah,
I played in that game. I think, looking back, that was one of my best games for Arbor. I think we played really well. It was a massive, massive game, 4-0. But it's a transition period. It's like tough for anyone. We had a lot of good players leaving that season, so it's always going to be hard. But looking back, just 10th was a really good season, to be honest. With all the new players, new experience. But yeah, just glad Arbor never went down, really.
I'm playing a lot of games away from home early on as well. It was a very tough season, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So looking back, it wasn't bad, and beat Llandudno along the end of the season as well. It was really, then Penna came in, he did well, and Wolsey, great man, class on and off the pitch, and it was a good season, yeah.
Fantastic. It wasn't long after that, then you left us for what would be the final time and went to Penryn Coch for the first time this time. Obviously, they're playing Camry Alliance. Big physical league, but the standard Camry Alliance has come on leaps and bounds over the years. How was that? I don't want to say drop down, almost feels like insulting really, but how was that dropping down a level to play?
You know what? Camry Alliance is a horrible league. It's a proper physical. I'd rather play Welsh Prem. I don't know how to say it, but I think Camry Alliance is harder because you just got more physical players. The pitches, they're all mainly grass pitches. They're just big lumps, really, really tough league. It's a good league, very good league, and I was really impressed with it.
It's, as I said, the few games I have been to see in Camry Alliance and as it is now the JD Cymru North and Cymru South is a really, really hard league. As I said, some really good footballers in that league as well, and teams that almost shouldn't be in that league and should be in the Welsh Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. You look at the Arbor team now. You get Jonathan Evans, he's been playing in Camry Alliance. Steph Davis. You got the 2 Ruthin boys in the Arbor team. They're playing very well. Jack Rimmer, Harry Rowe in the South Fish. It shows there's not much difference in the leagues. So it's really, really good league with
absolutely. I've been so impressed with the Penryn boys coming in this season. I've got to say, they've stepped up, and I think it's almost what you were saying there just now about having that extra 10% when you're playing for your local club as well. That gives you that little bit of an edge almost, and they've taken to Welsh Premier League so well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not surprised at all. Looking back at the TNS team, you had 6 Arbor boys starting. You got John Felino in the back. 39 is brilliant. And they just give a bit more. I think from the locals looking at it's really nice to see. Arbor going toe to toe with TNS 2-2, and most of the teams locals. It's brilliant for the town.
Someone who's had a lot of mentions on this channel is Gary Lewis. Absolutely fantastic manager, and what was he like to work with?
Oh, he is very good manager. He's a very good motivator. He will just you'll run through a wall for him. And he was very good at me. He's very, very good man, and even better manager.
And then following last season, then you went back to your roots. You went almost like full circle. You went back to Tregaron Turfs. for last season. And almost one of your first things you had to do with Tregaron was play against Aberystwyth Town in a pre-season friendly.
Yeah, I think Aber had a cancellation or something, and I think Barry Morgan or someone messaged me asking if we wanted a game, and Tregaron, all the boys wanted a game, against Aber Town on the pitch, floodlights Friday night. Everyone's up for it. We played very well, to be honest. It was nice to go back to Tregaron. That's my hometown club. That's where it all started. All my best mates are there. But really enjoyed my time there, and I'll be back again, without a doubt.
And as you said, you won the league quite comfortably last season. That looked like a very good side you had down Tregaron.
Yeah, very good side, very good players. No disrespect to Tregaron, but a lot of them can play higher standard. But they're all mates there, so they're sticking together, and it's really nice to see. But no, they're a very good team, and they would done well this year in the Mid Wales West as well. But hopefully that will start again soon, I hope.
Here's hoping, especially with the COVID thing coming down in Ceredigion as well. And finally, that's brought you back. You haven't actually made your second debut yet for Penryn Coch, but what was it that drew you back to Kaibaka?
I think going back down to standard in Tregaron, sometimes you get a phone call Saturday morning or a team cancelled because there's rain, and there wasn't any rain at all. Little stuff like that. You had really not the best referees, and sort of roll on, roll off subs and some stuff. I think it made me want to go play higher standard again, to be honest. But no disrespect, but I really enjoyed my time in Tregaron. Got the bug back. I fell out of the love of football for a bit, to be honest. I just wanted to play football with my mates. But once Fred and Sean, I played football with them before, and they rang me. I think it was an easy decision in the end to go back and play with Penryn.
As you said there, there's that love of football, which is, if you've got that love of football at back, then that's the be-all and end-all, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I just bought a house now in Bow Street, so it's only 2 minutes from Penryn. So it makes sense, really, in the end. And I'm just looking forward now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it won't be too long before we start playing competitive football again.
With it being just 2 minutes away, have the boys asked you to run to training yet?
Oh, they have, but I won't. I think it's quite well. I'm not the best trainer, so no, I'll drive.
Cledan, thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate it. Before we let you get on with your day and working from home, just got a couple of quick fire questions to ask you, like we've finished all these interviews with. So the first question I've got to ask you is, who's the best player you've played with at Aberystwyth Town?
I think Venable's up there, but if I got to choose, I think it'd be Sherbs, I think he should have been playing pro. He was very good, He'd turn up, he would haven't trained. I don't think he had boots, he'd just borrow someone's boots, or he had really dirty boots, and he'd play against, one of the best teams, man of the match. Don't think I've ever seen him have a really bad game, to be honest. He was brilliant.
Just probably answer the next question. Who's the worst trainer at Aberystwyth Town?
Oh, Sherbs, without a doubt. He used to always pretend he was injured or like he was ill, but on the pitch show he was real.
To be fair to him, he said that most people in that team would say him, so he couldn't pick himself. So, what's the best memory of Aber Town?
Definitely playing in Europe. Making my debut as well. My debut was Port Talbot away on a Friday night. We won 2-1, and I set up a goal there as well. But yeah, playing in Europe, playing the Welsh Cup final, even though we lost, but it was a great moment. But definitely playing in Europe, yeah.
What's your worst memory with Aber Town?
Probably the Welsh Cup final as well. It's a bit of just the disappointment of losing that was horrible. Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Sum up Aber Town in 3 words.
Great football club.
Fantastic. And the final one is pick your all-time Aber Town 5-a-side team. You can be in it, or you don't have to be in it. It's your choice.
Oh no, I won't be in it. No chance.
Winners goalkeeper, rush goalkeeper.
I put Stephen Carn in goal. I think he was unreal when he first started. I'll put Stuart Jones in the defence. Venners and Sherbs, Mark Jones up top.
That's not a bad side at all, that.
Yeah. I think that's the team up
things.
Well, so very good team.
Cledan, thank you so much for your time this morning, and really appreciate you giving up your morning to speak to us. I hope you've enjoyed watching this morning. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on the socials. Cledan, diolch yn fawr am amser, rili gwerthfawrogi fe, a diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr. Cheers, Matt.